second, third, and 1 to ball here on third down.
Here's Richardson. He takes it in for his first NFL touchdown. And Pittman takes it inside the 20, the 10, towards the end zone. Touchdown on second and 28. The Colts capitalize. Richardson to Pittman, 39 yards.
Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Leroy, and it is Kicking with the Crew. Got my guys Zach and Trev with me. Hope everybody's having a good weekend so far, man. How you guys' day going so far?
Chilling, man. Having a good weekend, good week. I'm on leave right now, growing a little fur on the face and everything. Just enjoying my time, dude. Whole moving process.
He said a little
fur. That's all, yeah. But having a good time, man. What about you, Zach?
What about you, Zach? How you doing, man?
I don't work today, so I just kind of kicked it at home and relaxed, moved the furniture and stuff around with the wife. You know, she wanted to get her David Cetera on and do all that, so we went and did all that, and then I work tomorrow, so it's back to the grind tomorrow.
Had that honey to-do list?
I wasn't really too big, but you know, just a few things. You know, got to get done. Try and maintain that.
I hear you, man. I've been up since 6 in the morning. I was just telling Zach I've been up since 6 in the morning. I was on call today, so I went to work after my kids' baseball games.
Ugh,
and I've been working all day. And then, like I told you guys, man, I came home. I was so tired. Me and the wife passed out. And I just woke up. I'm like, oh man. So yeah, it's been a long weekend. But I appreciate everybody who's coming in with us right now. Sorry about last week. We had some stuff going on. Ended up missing last week's show, but another stinker against the Jags. We can get into that a little bit. But we did get our win against the Tennessee Titans, which I've told many who people don't believe me for whatever reason, but I never doubted that we would win. I wouldn't care who we have playing that game. I just thought when the Tennessee Titans had Derrick Henry and kind of had Mike Vrabel, I thought Mike Vrabel would most times out-coach whoever we had as our coach until we got Shane Steichen. Thought it was a big difference for us. But, yeah, that game was never a doubt for me. But Colts end up losing 37-34 to the Jacksonville Jaguars in Jacksonville. I know Matt doesn't believe it, but the curse still stands in my eyes. How are you guys feeling about last week's loss versus the Jags?
To me, a game didn't occur, didn't happen. 2 weeks ago now, game just didn't happen. It was a bye week, you know. We happened to take a trip to Duval in Florida, and you know we came back to Indianapolis, and it is what it is. We don't acknowledge it until we win there. We don't acknowledge it. That's where I'm at.
I feel you, Trev. I feel you.
You know, Dave, I wanted to send you roses, my guy. Like I would send you roses, but you're right. It's disappointing that we don't use the tight end. Just one of those weird things. Weird things, but that's on a back burner type thing. For Jacksonville, I didn't even really watch that game because, like, I believe that curse. And I know, like, every year I pick against to break that curse, but, like, it just hasn't happened. So when I truly tell you guys, I didn't watch a minute of that game. I literally treated it like a bye week. Like, oh, Colts got the early bye. I don't know what I was doing that week.
It's been a decade, bro. That's where we're at.
I did not watch a lick of that game. The first Colts game I watched was the Tennessee game, man. I came back and watched Tennessee game. I don't know what happened that Jacksonville game. I just assumed we lost. I was like, all right, it's an L. I don't care.
It was back and forth. It was one of those things. The defense
it wasn't actually all that bad. It wasn't as bad as the ones that we've had in recent history. You know, that's like true. when we play against Jags down in Jacksonville, our quarterbacks just turn into the worst guy you can think of in college. Like that's what our quarterbacks would turn into.
DJU.
And Joe Flacco actually wasn't too bad. I mean, we still have the problem like how everybody wants to say, oh, AR's inaccuracy is killing drives or he'll miss people on some throws. Well, Joe Flacco kind of does the same thing every once in a while. So we kind of started a little hot. Came out. We were actually up for a little bit there. Or no, were we up? I think they might have scored first. I'm trying to remember.
I don't even remember now.
I can't remember. I thought we were up 7-0 to start, but they might have been up 7-0 to start, whatever. But they got up on us 17-7 at one point. We started doing the stuff we do in Jacksonville. I mean, we gave up 60-yard bombs to guys that couldn't even complete passes. And they, like, you see the next week they go to Chicago, they drop 4 touchdown passes. They don't do that against us. Against us, they turn into all pros. Started playing like crazy. But we didn't give up. Colts fought back, got it back to I want to say it was 20-17 at one point. Flacco was hanging in there, and our defense was just getting sliced through like Swiss cheese on most of the drive. So, like I said, that's where they kind of got some space on us. Got it to 20-27 at one point. Joe Flacco ended up throwing a bomb to Alec Pierce, who was getting late in the game. Like I said, we started missing some drives in that second and third quarter. My memory is real choppy on it just because, like you said, Zach, you just treated it like a bye week. I literally would come throughout back and forth my house. I would literally turn the game off and walk away just because I didn't care too much about the game. Right. But it's just so hard for me to get away from Colts football. Like it's like strangling myself to just not do it. But so I sit there through the torture, and we end up fighting back towards the fourth quarter. Hit Pierce, like I said, on a couple bombs. We're able to score. Got it to what was it? 30. It was 27-27, and all we needed was to get a stop. And we ended up giving up the 60-yard run to take Bigsby.
Gashed. Yep, just gashed.
And it was just ridiculous, dude. He took it like right up the middle, broke like 4 or 5 tackles, scores. We actually answered back, and then defense just couldn't get a stop. They get the field goal, went in regulation. So yeah, man, it's unbelievable how we just I don't know what the fuck it is, dude. I don't know.
It's like death, taxes, and the Colts losing in Jacksonville.
Yes, bro. That is what it is.
I don't get it. It's been a decade.
I seriously, I do not know. Like I said, we could be on a hot streak, playing the best we've ever played, and they could be playing the worst they've ever played, and we will go down there and just still lose to them. So, yeah, not too sure about it, but at least this time it just didn't look as stupid as it normally does in the past. Our defense just pretty much just showed what they've been doing all year. Defense hasn't been very good. Jacksonville beat us up from their offense to our defense, and we basically just couldn't stop them. That's what ended up stopping us from getting the W. So I will say I was pretty happy that our offense was able to get some big plays in there. We hung in there, but just that curse.
I would say it felt like one of those games where it was like you said, it's not a typical Colts and Duval game where we just can't do a fucking thing right for some reason. Mm-hmm. It was more so 2024, the Colts are super average type of game where offense plays all right, defense shits the bed, or vice versa. Like neither side of the ball can play well at the same time. And that's been consistent all year. It feels like for a long time now it's been consistent.
I think the closest game we had to that would probably be that Bears game.
Probably so. And that's kind of just beating up on a rookie quarterback who hadn't found his rhythm yet either. So how much credit you give to that. But man, it was just another game where the defense just shits the bed and Gus Bradley still hops on the plane and goes back to everybody and says, we're working on it. We're getting better and everything. I don't believe it anymore. I don't believe it.
So yeah, we got some stuff coming in here, man. Nathan is saying here, evening, gentlemen. Should they have put JT on IR since they missing him for the 3rd straight game?
I think a Colts reporter actually asked him this question. Asked Shane this question.
Yeah, they did.
And I think Shane says he just takes it week to week. They don't really think anything like that. Personally, I mean, at this point, it wouldn't hurt if they did it, but at the same time, like, if he's good to go, he needs to play, and if he's hurt, sit him until he plays. I mean, we've seen this with everybody. Like, they're not – Shane's extremely cautious with injuries and wants the player to be 100%. So that you have to respect, and next man up mentality. Everyone's a professional. Everyone gets paid. So,
it's
happen,
also
make it happen.
Yeah, it's also just hard in this day and age to even like get to 100%. Like as soon as you take that first snap at the beginning of the season, you're pretty much never 100% again from that point on. Like everyone's getting banged up. So it's just like, are we being overly cautious, or I don't know. Because I agree, Shane is very cautious with injuries, and I'd prefer a cautious coach than a fuck it, let him play, and then he gets decapitated type of coach.
Right.
But it is frustrating having this guy not be able to play. But at the same time, we see how good he is when he's healthy. So I don't hate it. I do think this is a game where, far be it for me to say that we don't need everyone on deck for every game, because we kind of suck too. But like this does seem like a game where we shouldn't necessarily need Jonathan Taylor to be able to win. We should be able to win without him, looking at the opponent that we play. So if he has to sit out this week, I don't think it's the end of the world.
I do like that you said that, Trev, because I was just thinking about that with Anthony Richardson when Shane said he wanted him to be 100% before he came back. Kind of just thinking like nobody's going to be 100% all year. So it's like the fact that you're waiting for him to be 100% and come back. I mean, like, if he can play, can he go? But I kind of get it at the same time, just looking out for players, because I don't know if you guys seen it, but it went trending around a couple days ago. I forgot the dude's name, but I guess he got some text messages from Andrew Luck, and he was saying that the Colts doctors, they prioritize the Colts' needs over what the player might need. So, I mean, that was in the past. It doesn't look like – well, I can't even say it's the past, because they did the same thing with Shaq Leonard 2 years ago, or a year ago. Yeah, 2 years ago, when Frank Wright was trying to have him play when he clearly wasn't healthy. He gets fired, and Jeff Saturday shuts him down immediately. So I guess it still goes on. So I didn't want to get off on a tangent there, but I just thought that was a good point that you made there. Nathan, I started thinking this as well. But I don't necessarily think that they should have put him on IR if he can still move around. If you think back to last year when he had the ankle issue, and when he was on IR, he was literally pretty much like still limping. It was slow that he was recovering still from the ankle. So I think if it's almost to the point where you feel like he might be able to start practicing, I can get why not to put him on IR. Now, if he misses a fourth game, then that would make sense. Then I'd be like, okay, well, we probably should just put the guy on IR. But I think that he is coming close to coming back to practice. So we'll see. Not just yet, though.
Yeah, I want to add in too. I saw the same thing you were talking about with the Colts medical team and everything, the team doctors. I mean, first of all, it is.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, where the hell? Why did I just move?
Button. My bad. I'll find a way to back.
You're good.
It is concerning with the team doctors. To some degree, I do think that's probably damn near every NFL team. But it's still a concern, right? Because we've seen it multiple times with multiple different players where the team is saying, no, go ahead and play. So in that respect and in that regard, that's where I'm okay with Shane being the overall, like, more cautious guy. Even if the team doctor is saying he's good. I don't know what that case is. Obviously, they don't broadcast stuff like that. But I'll always lean on the side of being a little more conservative with injuries, just because we've seen that with guys like Shaq, guys like Andrew Luck, guys like fucking Eric Ebron, where they leave the team eventually and they claim, they were trying to push me to play, I wasn't ready, stuff like that. It's not a good look. If all that is true, it's not a good look at all, and definitely needs some looking into. But obviously, stuff like that is going to be hard to be released to the public like us. So we'll see if anything comes of it.
I know this is something, again, that you just threw out another point. I just want to throw this out here. This has nothing to do with Zach, Trev, Damon, or Matt, or ZTV. This is just my opinion, in my opinion alone. But I do think Eric Ebron is a soft liar. That's just my opinion. I believe he's a soft liar. And you guys know me. I don't throw this around normally. Like, I don't usually say this about players. But I think he's a soft liar. He blames it on Chris Ballard, that Chris Ballard tried to force him to play, which I don't think Chris Ballard would do. Now, if the doctor says something, that's totally different. But I just think that he was a soft flyer that quit on his team. That's just my opinion on Ebron.
Yeah, and that's the weird part too, because you always feel like Ballard is kind of in the same boat as Steichen of like, you know, we're going to be overly cautious. I mean,
I feel like he leaves it to the doctors and the coaches.
Cautious. Yeah, so it's more of a concern of like, is the medical team doing right by the players? And obviously, there's a lot of opinions that go into stuff like that too. So that's murky waters.
That's exactly why I said it's just my opinion. That's just mine. So if anybody clips that or says anything, that's just mine.
We hope they have, and I think they do have the players' best interests at heart. But it is, I mean, it would make sense. They put the Colts first. That's who's paying their checks. So, oh man, I don't know.
Yeah, you had something on that, Zach?
I've shared my conspiracy theorists to say, like in the podcast group, just about, you know, the Colts kind of being selfish. And
you said you would or you did?
Oh, yeah, I've shared my opinions on it about the Colts being selfish and playing guys before they probably should have, and then vice versa. Like, so in a way, I do agree that, you know, Ebron probably telling a little bit of a lie. But, I mean, if there's text going around and Luck is saying, yo, hey, the Colts pushed me to play, there's probably some truth to that. Now, that being said, I want to know if this mindset came from Ballard and is he ultimately responsible, or if it's just, hey, here's a second opinion, and, you know, the Colts doctors being the Colts doctors are always going to rule with the Colts, and more so than it becomes players are choosing to sit out for their own safety because essentially their body is their moneymaker. And if that's the case, you don't fault the player.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, then I do hope that if the Colts are doing things like that, then that truth, you know, is told and there's accountability, because like that's just as dangerous as rushing a guy back from a concussion too early or something like that. I mean, in a way,
I just like I totally get what you're saying, Zach. I wish I would have listened a little bit more thoroughly to that video and seen what year it was, because I think that was even before Ballard that this was going on. Because if we think about how many things Andrew Luck played through, he was basically the team. If he didn't play, we stunk. You know, so I'm not trying to give the team a pass, but I just think that that's been their motto, depending on who the leadership was, which is why I said what I said, because I just don't think that Ballard steps in and tells people that they have to play through injury. He's the guy that makes the most fucking excuses for every player, no matter what they got young. Oh, he was hurt. Oh, he's too young. Oh, we shouldn't have drafted him. Whatever it may be. So that's why
it's not in line with his character, really.
Yeah, it's just something that it's just, again, my opinion, that I just don't truly believe that that's Ballard in there. Now, will the doctors be like, hey, yeah, I think his hamstring's just fine, and go tell the coach and Ballard and them and that, and they're like, well, the doctor's saying you're okay, and the player's saying you're not, so there might be some discrepancies something there. Like that, but it does seem like Steichen really rides with the doctor and maybe telling them like, hey, let's be a little overly cautious here, just like with the injury with Pitt. They almost put him on IR and left it up to him to say, hey, can you play? Can you not? You know, so like you would say, Zach, normally you would like them to be a little bit more, what was the word, transparent with us.
Yeah.
I doubt that we'll ever get that, but it would be nice if we could, you know a little bit more. But I'm guessing there's probably some clauses and stuff in contracts that they really can't talk about or something.
Bro, and if it is some shady stuff, we're not going to know until about 10, 15 years from now. They'll have a 30 for 30 about it. We'll be like, shit, that makes sense.
The Colts had 82 players over 9 years forced to play through injuries.
Bro, something like that. I hope not, man. That'd be terrible.
David saying here, Jags game, I think I knew we were screwed at the very end of the first half with the fumble and the Jags getting the field goal, then lose by 3. Again, Dave always saving me in these situations. Yeah, that was one of the scenarios that I did end up missing. We had literally got the ball back and from the Jags. I'm pretty sure it was a fumble on them, and then they got a strip sack fumble right back on us. Braden Smith got beat by Trayvon Walker, strip sack fumble. We get a ball right back to him with 2 seconds left. They kick a field goal and go up. I think that was the 17. No, 10-7. I think it might have been.
See, and that right there was one of those like rare, weird plays that only happens in Duval because we don't see a lot of strip sets, especially not from Braden Smith. Like our O line has been solid this year, so that was just.
I will say that
man.
The DNs from Jags though, they're colt killers though. Every time we go play them, them boys have some good games.
Nasty.
So I don't know if I'd necessarily call that one a Duval one, but them boys, especially
they got after it,
especially a boy Hines. Nathan says Carlisle is among one of the best coverage linebackers in the NFL. We were actually just talking about that. So EJ Speed has been listed as doubtful for tomorrow, and I'm guessing Carlisle would probably be the one to step in for him.
I hope. Maybe he should take his job regardless. I mean, we got to change something back there. And
but he's not the linebacker I want jobs taken. I like EJ Speed.
I don't give a damn at this point, dude. Anything new, try it. I don't care.
I feel you.
I understand. Like Zaire has been worse for sure, and EJ has done some of what we expect EJ to do.
Right.
But my goodness, man, it's just like every week. Like even the Titans last week, we won. Good for us. And it wasn't like they dropped 30 on us, so good for us. But still, like, that should not have been a close game. You know, it should not have been a cardiac Colts game, but it was. It always is. Like, we don't have a defense that can shut anything down, man. It's so worrying to watch every week.
I'm not gonna lie. I watched that Titans game and I was like damn near about to fall asleep because that's how worried about the Titans I was. It felt like when my kids are it felt like when my kids are like climbing on me and I'm kind of just playing with them and pushing them off. You know.
Yeah, but you should win that by 3 scores. You should win that by 3 scores. We won by 3 points.
But
I get what you're saying. They're not a threat, but still.
You want to let your kids feel good. You want to feel like let them feel like they had a chance. You know. So
you played at 21. You let them score 17, and then you rip off 21 straight points. Like,
I mean, I just, you know, I just think
in real life, sure, but for my football team, I need them to treat their kids like Adrian Peterson, dude. They got just have at it, man. We're not playing.
Out here grabbing switches and just going to town, then, eh?
Matter of fact, you go bring me a switch. I'm gonna use it.
Oh my goodness!
That's what I need from the Colts. All right,
but you made a tear come out of my eye. You made a tear come out. That was hilarious.
They're being too friendly with their kids right now. I don't like it, man. I don't like it one bit.
That is hilarious. Good one right there, Trev. Jags game. We won the toss, took the ball, and scored. We were up 7-0. Yeah, I thought that's what it was. Couldn't remember for sure. Nathan saying here, I want to see Goodson get more reps at the running back spot. Sermon, not him. Completely agree. I was talking about this with Matt. I think Goodson is way more explosive. I wouldn't necessarily call him a 3-down back. So not sure if we'll bring up Hole, let him come get some reps. But I just don't think Sermon is it either. I think he's like the Zeke Elliott after prime with no juice. So that's where I'm at with Sermon. Completely agree there. I do need to hit up Goody's representation and see if I can maybe get him to come on during the bye week because when he broke off that run versus Tennessee, I did not know he was that fast. Dude,
he's got burners.
Oh, he gets burners. I didn't know he was that fast. And then he laid the shoulder on somebody. I was like, "Let's go, Goody!"
He's a football player, man.
So yeah, man, I'd like to see him in there.
Yeah, I agree with Nathan too, man. I think Goodson should be our RB2 right now. I also would like to see Hole get called up, get moved up, and get some snaps. Like we got to figure out what we have in this guy. He's in year 2 now, I believe. Obviously missed last year with injury. See what we have. Do we have a backup running back in this guy or not? Like I want to know what the deal is with Evan Hole, man.
Yeah. Sean Conrad said, "Hey guys." He also said something else down here. He said, We should have this game, but that's always scary. He's talking about the game versus Miami coming up here. So, yeah, that's absolutely the ones to worry about the most.
I hope so.
Dave Stewart saying here, Jags game reminded me of Cleveland game last year. Yeah. Very alike that one. I think there was less penalties in that game with the Jags, but it was very, very similar as far as putting up points. Defense is not really defensing anything.
No BSPIs in the back of the end zone.
Yeah. Cleveland game, we felt rightfully so like we got screwed. Jags game, we just knew we screwed ourselves. Like like we do for the past 10 years.
Joshua Merchant is saying here, where did Samuel Womack come from? Did we draft him? He has been pretty good for us. Yeah, we picked him up off of waivers right at the start of the season. Or not. Yeah, right at the start of the season.
Cuts, I believe.
The 49ers cut him. He was shocked to actually be told that he was getting cut.
Yeah.
And
we see why.
I would like to say the Baltimore Ravens and the Kansas City Chiefs were two teams that tried to claim him off of waivers. He thought that he was a lock for a roster spot, so he was pretty shocked when the 49ers told him he was getting waived. So it was definitely a huge come up for us. And Ballard finding that gem in the rough.
And yeah, we got to give him a little bit of credit there because this is a good find. This is a good waiver wire pickup. We've all been harsh on Ballard, rightfully so, but we can give some credit here. Womack was definitely a good pickup. One of our best DBs, if not the best right now. Dude's been playing really well for us. Hopefully that continues, and maybe we can see if we can lock him down long term for years to come.
Who's that? Womack?
Womack.
I want to see a little bit more before we spend some money on somebody, but I do like.
Sure, but yeah, I just mean keep him around because he's actually playing cornerback, and that's more than some of our guys do. So.
Yeah, for sure. Dave saying here, Titans game like the rest, we just don't get 3 and out. TOP has been killing us, even if we don't give up points. Yeah. So it's like we really get not much difference between Flacco and Richardson, except for Flacco's clearly a little bit better with the ball, with his experience and whatnot. But that's pretty much it. I feel like we got the same thing, just got a older non-athletic version.
and this is where my frustration with the offense has been this season. Not even so much with the Joe versus AR, like that whole debate, whatever. It's the fact that, yes, we score. Yes, we've had games where we put up 30 plus, whatever. Like the offense by all means is the best part of this team. However, we go 3 and out on offense way too often after giving up long drives. And that plays into how bad the defense is too. We'll have, like Dave was saying, we'll have teams just go on drives on us, even if they only get 3 or they don't even score, but they have the ball for 4 or 5 minutes. Offense gets the ball back, we go 3 and out. That happens way too often. And they get the ball back and they do what they do. That's a massive problem with us. Even if we need to be doing the same thing to other teams. Even if we're not going to score, we need to possess the ball a little bit because it plays hand in hand with each other.
I think a lot of that has to do with play calling from Shane. I mean, as we've seen differently, I do feel like he's called the games differently depending on who's there at quarterback. With AR, it's more of a run first.
Sure.
We're going to set you up off the run, RPO, play action. And then with Joe Flacco, he's just straight drop back, screw it, someone's down there. And we don't even attempt to run the ball unless it's like a short yardage or a draw play. That's just my opinion. So I feel like if Shane is worried about time of possession, run the ball, man. Make it easy. That's something I feel like Shane doesn't, because Shane's philosophy is we're going to throw to score and run to win. So,
but I can also I can understand the predicament he's in, right? Because it's an offense that's designed to mainly show AR and JT, and who's been injured this whole freaking time. AR and JT. So I understand he's a little limited. He's got to try different things. I understand that. I have some leeway for Shane. But you're right. It is 100% with the play call. And when you drop back 3 times in a row and you miss 3 times in a row, now you're 4th and 10. Now you're punting the fucking ball right back to him. You've gone 3 and out, and now the defense is on the back end again. They didn't even get to catch a breath. They weren't good last drive. They're going to be worse this drive. It all plays into each other. It's a massive factor with this team, and it's something that's got to improve, or else we're going to continue to be mediocre at best like we have been.
I really think a lot of it has to do with 2 things. I feel like on defense, obviously, we can't stop anybody, so their drives just keep going and going and going and going. I do think on offensively, though, I don't know if you guys have noticed it, but I feel like we've been too compact. If you look at some of our offensive series all of our wide receivers are barely off the edges of tight ends, and it feels like we're running a lot of stacked and keeping them inside positions, and we're not spreading teams out and making them cover every blade of grass until it's like really too late, and that's when we start forcing the ball deep. And so it's like even if we're not going 3 and out, we're scoring in 4 plays or something like that.
Yeah. We're getting massively. My bad, but we're getting massively like the difference in time of possession every game is not even close. It's a terrible recipe for like does not lead to success whatsoever.
Yeah, I think the first game we actually won time of possession might have been that Jags game, if I'm correct.
That's surprising.
And we lost that one. So, I think it has to do with a lot with what Zach was saying with play calling. I think, defensive struggles as well. And then I just think we need to switch up the run game a little bit more. And also, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but I feel like a lot of that when we do the shot, the pistol, or not the pistol. Oh, yeah, the pistol with Jonathan Taylor being on the side, we keep running those draws a lot. I feel like there's too many times where he's getting contacted at the line of scrimmage and going backwards, and it's how he keeps ending up with these sprained ankles because too many times he's not running over somebody and bringing some power to him rather than, pitter-pattering and trying to find the hole, and then he's getting stopped up and shoved in the guy. So I'd like to see a few scheme changes there a little bit maybe and put be more on attack rather than, kind of waiting for guys. But Sean Conrad is saying here, it's that boring garbage Gus defense. Definitely an issue. Dave said, I really thought AR's first half versus Pittsburgh looked like, hey, he's got it moment. Then, unfortunately, the injury, much like the first half versus the Rams last year. Yeah, Dave, I do agree, but the tough part is he didn't play the whole half. That was the problem for me. It's a lot of times that we see these good games from AR. He never makes it through those games. That's the part that really sucks. Anytime we see some flashes, I mean, obviously he did finish the Rams game, and we got to see a lot of it there. But a lot of times it's like we get a chance to see some things, just kind of like in the Houston game last year, where he was going off and then he gets the concussion. So I just think too many times we get to see some really good games out of him, and we don't really get to see him for a half. Like it's like a good quarter,
it's so frustrating.
And then he's gone. So I really hope he really sticks to his guns, like he said, and he starts to slide and get down in the middle of the field and don't really keep putting himself at harm's way, because we need to see more than just some flashes from him, because we're getting pretty deep into this thing.
Well, and it's so frustrating too, because it's like every time he really looks like, oh, this is it. Like Dave says, he's got it. Like that's his moment. He gets some bullshit ass injury, and then the days that he doesn't get injured, he's just like average, or he's overthrowing guys. It's just one of those games where it's just developing and probably making some questionable decisions. So it's like we just can't have two sides of the coin, right? He's either playing well and he gets hurt, or he plays mediocre and he's fine. And granted, I'll take mediocre, but he's not hurt over getting hurt any day. Don't get me wrong, but man, it's just been so frustrating. We can't get
the football gods don't want us to have it.
I swear, dude, it's something like that. Something like that, man. But just as far as the sliding thing too, real quick, I do like that's another thing that's so frustrating, because this dude is built like freaking LeBron. Like you want him to not have to slide, but at this point, we've seen him get injured so many times in less than 2 seasons. Like it's time to start playing soft, bro. It's time to start going out of bounds, start sliding. I know you're built like a linebacker. You probably could run these dudes over. It's not worth it. It's not worth the risk anymore. Get your ass down and let's carry on with the football, bro. Like that's where we're at.
Yeah, man. I mean, even if he was built like DeForest Buckner, I'd still want him to slide just because you're a quarterback. Just get down, man. Don't take any extra
Unless
hits.
It's the damn Super Bowl,
if you're at like the goal line play where who was it? He ran over Kevin Byard. That's the time where I'm like, go for it, dude. Run somebody over. But in the middle of the field, just get down. You're going towards the sideline. I don't care if you like. It's like, sometimes when quarterbacks start making this kind of trend to go out of bounds, I don't care if you just completely beeline that thing and go straight out of bounds. Like, just stay away.
Because then we know we have you for another play. I
remember when Peyton, there would be times where he'd see the blitz coming and he know he can't beat it. He doesn't sit there and try and hang in there and back up. He was on the floor instantly. I'm down. Like that's
you got it. You got it.
Yeah, you got it, bro. Let it go. Live another play. So that's the kind of changes I'd like to see a little bit there, just from AR. Just because, man, like I don't know. At this point, like you gotta prove to us that you're not injury prone. We gotta see you play. We gotta see you start playing 12 to 15 games. This can't be an every game, every week type situation that you're always gonna be out. Like this can't be the case, man.
We can't keep any credibility as a show if we come on here and say, "Oh, he's not injury prone, and then he goes out and gets busted up every time. We can't do it. So AR, we need you to stay healthy, man.
Exactly. Nathan, I saw you say this. My bad, pass it up there. He said, "Can we try and get Rigo on and show the pinning Tennessee at the 3-yard line?" Man, I would definitely love to get more people on the show. It is not easy at all. So I definitely would love to. I actually got a picture with Rigo back in 2018. That's my guy, man. That's my guy back when he was wearing number 2. So that would be great, man. I'd love to get him and plenty of other players on.
Y'all got to trust. We have tried and continue to try. It's not the easiest thing in the world, though. We're still kind of small fish in a big pond in the whole like media world, but we do try to hit people up.
Just want to bring something to you guys' attention that I did not know about that I just found out this past week, man. But the Carson Wentz deal, when we sent him to Washington, those picks ended up turning into Alec Pierce, Bernard Ryman, Drew Ogletree, Jelani Woods, and Josh Downs.
I've seen enough.
Yeah.
Ballard.
Bro, I did not know that, bro.
Yeah.
That's not a bad deal. That's not a bad deal, buddy.
Jeez.
Yeah. I think I saw it. That came out a couple days ago.
Yeah.
That article that you got. Yeah, I saw it the day of. I didn't realize that we got 3, well, really 4 guys that are that good out of from. I literally only thought we got 2 picks from it.
I didn't know we got. It was a second. Yeah. It was a second and a third. We ended up trading one of those seconds, getting another third and a fifth. I think it was something like that.
Yeah, because I think we got Raymond, and, Bernard, and Downs from Washington directly, and then we traded those picks, and I think we got Pierce from a conditional pick. But either way, I mean that's a young core. Thank you, thank you, Commanders. Yeah. That's literally the young core. Yeah, Wentz. The gift that keeps on giving to Indianapolis, you know.
I tell you what,
like Kingdom Crumb food trucks just supplied the Colts with some crumbs. So,
and just to top it off, Anthony Richardson has a little bit of Wentz in his play where he thinks, every play has got to be a touchdown. So he's got a little bit of that Wentz in him.
It's just being young. Yeah. I mean, that can be coached out.
Hopefully soon.
So, yeah, most definitely. So Tennessee Titans, man. We end up winning that game 20-17. This game, I wouldn't necessarily call it a back and forth type show, but it was really just about 2 offensives trying to find their footing. Colts go right down and score. Tennessee comes back. I want to say that we had stopped them and they had got a penalty to keep their drive going is what happened. So they kept their drive going. They end up scoring, matching it back up. They kick a couple of field goals, go up 13-7. Then I want to say we did not score another touchdown. I think we kicked a field goal as well. I'm trying to remember exactly the breakdown on that. But basically, we were down 13-17. And it came down to a drive, one last drive that we tried to churn out, and we end up scoring a touchdown with Alec Pierce. But once again, the guy just gets open. Joe Flacco missed a few throws in that game, overthrew a play as well, threw an interception there. But in the end, we ended up winning that game. There were some people that was pissed off in the Tennessee Titans case. They were down, I want to say it was less than 2 minutes left. They end up punting the ball back to us, thinking that they could get a stop, and we pretty much end the game from there. We do get the ball one more time to try and close it out. Didn't get it. Rigo punted it to like the 3-yard line. Crazy punt. And Will Levis just pretty much couldn't push the ball all day. Yeah, I just saw that, Nathan. Thank you. Touchdown Gators. Yeah, man, it was pretty much what I thought it was going to be. It's always a slugfest with those guys. I feel like they always play us the toughest. I wouldn't ever say that we actually just dominate there or anything like that. Definitely thought it was a kind of a back and forth defensive game that we ended up, pulling out with a lot of injuries.
Can't get away from him. Can't get away from him at this point. Everyone's injured all the time. We just the IR report is like a book, man. That name just keeps trailing.
It's like the class sign-in sheet, the present sheet.
Yeah. It just put the whole 53-man roster on there, dude. Everyone's hurt. Everyone's hurt all the time. Luckily, I ended up missing that game. I was driving to Texas looking at some houses, but I kept checking the score. I'm like, damn, no one scored. It was like 13-10 when I checked in. And I looked again. It was end of the game 2017. I was like, all right, well, that must have been a kind of a slower game, but
just one
look, anytime you get a divisional win, obviously it's great. We can downplay the Titans and honestly downplay ourselves, like downplay the whole division because it just hasn't been a great year for anyone outside of Houston. But a divisional win in the NFL is a divisional win in the NFL and a away game at that. So that is a big deal. I don't want to underplay that. I don't care who it's against. That's a big deal. So, we take that. We try to replicate that moving into tomorrow and next week and so on and so forth. Not a bad deal. You'd rather be on the winning side than the losing side, even if both teams are kind of bleh that day. So it's an ugly win, but it's a win. We'll take it.
For sure. What are your thoughts on the game versus Tennessee, Zach?
Well, we should have honestly. That should have been a blowout. Like we should have blown Tennessee out because offensively, Will Levis struggled, but our defense is so bad that we kept them around. I also feel like Callahan did us a bunch of favors, just like quit running the ball. So hey, I'm all for that. Much love, dude. Stop running the ball when you got dudes ripping off 8-10 yards a pop.
We like that.
Yeah, I'm all for that. Make them one-dimensional. But felt like
that's my bad.
I really felt like this game should have been bigger than what it was. But at the same time, at this point in the season with this team, a W is a W, and I don't care if it's by 3, if it's by 7, if it's by 2, if it's by 1. This Colts team's, they're going to master the art of winning ugly. The only thing I can do is I can hope next year with a better improved roster, hopefully a new defensive coordinator, a better scheme, that those ugly wins turn into blowouts by 3 touchdowns, and we can rest guys and sit guys, that type of stuff. But this year, hey, I'm not mad. I will take it.
Always take an ugly win over an ugly loss, right?
Most definitely. You'll take a ugly. You'll take an ugly win because you've never seen a beautiful loss.
Yeah.
That's why.
Good point.
That's why.
I don't care if we score 55. If we lose, it's a bad day.
Exactly.
Does a beautiful loss count as a tie if it gets you into the playoffs?
No,
because I've never seen that.
It just kind of leaves a bad taste in your mouth while you go.
I personally, just as a competitor, I just don't know why I feel this way. I think it's just I don't like ties. I would rather lose than tie. I do not want you to feel like we're equal. I would rather lose to say, okay, let's try this again so I can beat you and we tie. It was just like in 2022 when we tied Houston. I knew we were gonna suck that year when we tied that game. I was like, how am I supposed to feel about this? I'm like, this is not like if we tied the Chiefs or something, maybe I would have felt a little bit different. But I'm just like a tie, and I'm like, I'm not expecting Houston to be that good. I'm like, damn, dude, do we suck? That was after week 1, bro. Week 1. Yeah. I'm like, Yeah, nah, this ain't good.
Ties are just terrible to watch too, man. You invest 2-3 hours of your day to watch a football game and it ends in a fucking tie. No, get it out of here, man. We need college football overtime rules every game. I
I
don't
was
give a
just about to
damn.
say
Like,
NFL football shouldn't even end in a tie. There should not
absolutely
be.
not. Remove it from the game, bro. It's terrible. It's disgusting. I hate
They're
it.
going to move the goalpost.
Oh my
kickers
god,
are-
I seen that
You
shit
heard
too.
about
The
that?
kickers are too
That's
good. I don't
kickers
even
are
feel that way,
hurt.
man.
That's so dumb, dude.
Above
I don't-
80% or whatever, they want to move it so where it's tighter and smaller. Basically,
Matt
if
Gay
you
can
watch-
barely kick already.
Yeah,
They
I was
just
about to
hate the
say.
Colts.
Speak for
Facts.
yourselves. Y'all's kickers are good, man.
Basically, if you've seen arena football, that's kind of what they want to do, the uprights.
No,
Make 'em-
man.
make 'em
They got to
longer
stop trying
and-
to change shit, bro.
and change the width.
They already killed the kickoff, and then you get rid of that shit. I thought it might be cool. It's stupid. It's dumb. Just bring back a regular kickoff. They better not be doing this shit too, man. I'm tired of it.
Dave is saying here, Tennessee does have a solid defense, better than I thought they would be. I mean, I do think Tennessee has a good defense. I kind of got into a little back and forth. Was it not earlier in this week, but like sometime last week? Actually, it might have been earlier this week. But I got into it a little bit with some Titans fans just because they were talking about the defense and whatnot. And a lot of people were high on L'Jarius Sneed. Plenty of Colts fans were high on L'Jarius Sneed. And it was kind of like us Colts fans were talking crap to him and whatnot, talking about L'Jarius Sneed. He's supposed to be a top 5 corner in the league. And if it wasn't for Joe Flacco missing Alec Pierce and Ashton Doolin, that boy Sneed might have gave up 200 yards. I mean, like it would have been
beat like a drum.
City. Like it was pretty bad. So yeah, Dave, I do agree that I think their defense has been solid. If they had better quarterback play, it might be majorly different for them. But their offensive line still has some trouble too. So I would say they're kind of trying to mask up Will Levis and some of the offensive line struggles right now.
I don't ever want to hear that Texas is the best team in the country. They're getting whipped.
Yeah, I seen a touchdown a little bit ago. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's looking ugly right now.
I don't ever want to hear a peep about Texas being legit. Georgia's still the best team in the country, without a doubt.
Hey, but we saw how that Bama Georgia game went when Georgia came all the way back. Anything is possible. 17-0, anything's possible. I'm just saying.
No.
I don't know, man.
It's cooked.
Bama
bro.
lost to Vandy, bro. Anything is possible this year.
Go Commodores.
The only team in Tennessee that we might be all right.
Speaking of college ball, look at this, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
All right, but hold
IU
on, ladies
football.
and gentlemen, because Zach is going to sit here and talk about IU football. But in this group chat we have every single day, he says, "Oh, well, Sig's going to leave.
I ain't
IU
gonna.
can't
I
have
was
anything
getting ready.
good."
I was getting ready to go there.
Google him. Google him.
Hold on.
Zach cannot wait for Coach
IU
Sig to move
football
on to a different team.
is
so
7-0.
so he can talk shit
And
about
I
IU.
am not an IU fan. Go Purdue all day, every day,
Man.
twice on Sundays.
I was gonna get to
But-
that after, but I wanted to get the word in from our sponsor real quick.
Hold on. We can do this after.
Yeah, go ahead.
You can
Go
cut
ahead,
me
Zach.
off
Go
with
ahead.
it. I
You're
don't
good.
really
No,
care.
you're good. No, you're
But-
good.
Coach Sig is going to leave IU for greener pastures. That means any team in the SEC that's going to pay this man.
What's wrong with Indiana?
Because IU can't have nice things. They're not allowed. Like, nah, dog. Like, this is they've been good twice my entire life. COVID anomaly. And this year is the only time they're allowed to be good. So maybe next year to have a couple losses, Sig will be gone after that. So enjoy it while you can now, IU fans, because Indiana fans can't have nothing nice. Eventually, we'll go back to being 3-9 in the Big Ten.
I thought you was a Purdue fan.
We, as in those of us that know IU football, truly understand 3-9 is the high level. That's the highest of highs.
Good for you.
Of-
Hoosiers. Good
A
for you.
four-win season, championship. All right, championship.
Good for you, IU
Hilarious.
fans. You're 7-0. Keep it up.
Hilarious. But yeah, let's go ahead and get this word in from the sponsors real quick here. ZTV has new merch. Go check it out. Has our merch on there as well. Kicking with the crew. Go check us out. My boy DJ Lagway threw an interception. God damn it.
Nice.
Go check out scorestream.com, wherever you like to get your scores. Check out your games. I have not officially checked this out. I don't know if neither of you guys have, but go check them out. I'm pretty sure they should have all sports available for you on there. On Point Golf. Go check them out. I know everybody's big-time golfers right now. Depending on wherever you like to do, go have fun with it. Go check them out. Then we got Lemmy's Attorney in Laws. Go check them out if you need some help with anything.
It's got to be their slogan, right? Let me get Lemmy.
Let me get Lemmy. 23 wines, so you can match your wines with your wines. So the 23 tiers, whether you're a Titans fan, whatever it is, you're still crying over your loss that you took last week. 23 different flavors, dog. 23 wines to help you with your alcohol wine needs.
Appreciate that.
5% a bottle. There you go.
Hey, the Kentucky luckily went for it on 4th down, and we got the stop. So the interception didn't even matter for my boy DJ. Let's go.
Nice.
He's a freshman.
This is true too, because Walters ain't it. I agree 1,000%.
Matt said Arch to the rescue. They put Arch Manning in. They benched Quinn Ewers.
Oh, wow. I need him.
Ewers is going to fall to the 2nd round now.
It's over. It's all over.
I'm kidding, man.
Just bringing it back to coast football. Miami tomorrow. How are we feeling, boys? I know they don't have Tua Tagovailoa, so really
terrified.
Yeah. I'm with Zach. Terrified.
Because they still have
it's a game that
we should win.
Back. Yeah,
like the Packers game where we played Malik fucking Willis and lost.
They have Daniel Ache, and they still have 2 incredibly fast receivers, and our defense is suspect. And they have I don't even know who the quarterback is. Snoop
Huntley, the Pro Bowler.
Snoop Huntley. So this is a game that people predict the Colts to win. So you'll see tomorrow a lot of 24-13, 28, 21 Indianapolis. Yeah. I have Indianapolis losing this game 45-30.
Stop, bro.
Because for real, bro. This game scares the crap out of me.
Come on.
Scares the bejesus
45. 45.
If EJ's not playing and the guys are still out on defense, absolutely. Because Zaire can't tackle worth a darn.
I was agreeing with Zach until he said 45. If we give a 45 to Miami, I might not watch another game. If Tua was playing, then okay, I'd understand. But
that's fair.
With Snoop Huntley playing, we better lose 16-10. If it's any worse than that, then the Packers game, because Snoop, I don't even know.
I I just know.
Look,
I'm not confident with this game, dude.
No, I'm not either. I understand the concern, but I mean, come on, man.
We make backup quarterbacks look good, bro.
So you want to know something crazy? You want to know something crazy about Miami, right? So they got Tyreek and Waddle, right? But they have one of the worst pass games in the league right now without their quarterback. One of the worst rush games. They've been injured, pretty much beat up. Mostert hasn't been there. Devin A-Chain hasn't been there. Offensive line hasn't really looked too good.
They got
their defense. Their defense is crazy. So they pretty much have no pass rush. Their pass rushers are either injured, gone, or whatever. They really don't have a pass rush. But the interesting thing is they're 28th in rush defense. They're 5th in pass defense, which makes it's absolutely crazy. It's crazy. And I think a lot of that comes from some of the quarterbacks that they played. If you think about when they lost to Tennessee, it was pretty much a running game that beat them. When they played against the Patriots, they really didn't have much to fight against. I think Jacoby Brissett, his whole, I believe it was 5 weeks that he was the starter. Oh my God, DJ Ladway. The whole time Brissett was the starter for the first 5 weeks or whatever. Brissett threw no touchdowns. And then Drake May came in versus Houston Texans. He's already thrown 2 touchdowns. 2 or 3, I think it was. So I think it really does go to some of the people that they played to show some of this defense. But I just believe in the NFL, it's really hard to cover when you don't have a pass rush. So I don't know how they have no pass rushers because of injuries. 28th in run defense and they're 5th in pass defense. So it's typically not the defenses that stink that I'm worried about, or that are good that I don't worry about. Because I think Shane's scheme, we typically will destroy some defenses that most people call good or an elite defense. I feel like every time that happens, we kind of shred through them. But this is one of those, this is one of those trap games where I just feel like we're gonna have too much going our way, and then we just don't tackle well, or we don't rally to Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, and we kind of let one of those guys break loose. So it's a game again that I expect us to win, and that's what terrifies me.
Yeah, I completely echo that. So I was going to say the same thing. I expect us to win, and that's why I'm worried. Because every time I think if we go through this show, there's been like 2 or 3 times I remember the Green Bay game this year, the Saints game last year, I think the Atlanta game last year, where I sat here and I pointed my finger and I said the Colts are gonna win this game. It's a must. It's an easy win, so on and so forth. Made a fool of myself, and then we go on and fucking do what the Colts do. So I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna sit here and say we're gonna win. But yeah, this is a game you absolutely expect to win, and that's why it's scary. That's why it's a trap game. That's why with these cardiac Colts, we can't trust it. I don't see them being able to just drop 30 on us like you might have been saying earlier. But I don't think they're not going to be able to either. We saw what Malik Willis did to the team. We see what teams do to this defense every freaking week. We single-handedly extended Trevor Lawrence's career, making him look like the number 1 overall pick he's supposed to be. He only does that against us. So it's a fact, man. He only does it against us.
Dang. So Trev out here just roasting Jackson.
So we're just man. Defense is terrible. I understand that. So congrats to Stu Huntley. Congrats to Stu Huntley.
Is Trev wrong though? Because think about the careers we've already extended Malik Willis's career.
Yeah.
I don't think Trev's necessarily been all the problem in Jacksonville, because if you look at their drop rate has been as high as when AR is playing.
Yeah.
So there's that. Hey, there we go. Gators another touchdown. And then who else do we play? No, I think that might have been it. No, we gave Justin Fields his career day. And
that's what we do.
We
kept Ryan Tannehill in Tennessee for years because we couldn't stop the bootleg play action. He did it seemingly every quarter against us, and every time we went for a touchdown. For years, we made that guy look good. So I just want to say, congratulations, Malik Willis. You're going to get another contract this offseason, and it's because of what you'll do tomorrow. Hopefully we win regardless, but this is what the Colts defense does, right? We let guys make a fool of us. This LSU receiver just had a wild fucking catch and they waved it off. I hope they review that. My bad.
I do kind of give the Colts defense a pass on the Malik Willis thing though, because I don't know if you guys watched it the following week. He kind of did even better versus Tennessee, which Tennessee has a pretty good defense, and he diced them up. So it was
but it was just the fact of what he was
that it was
going
us
into that game, and it was us. Yes, and we've made a habit of it now of letting guys have their career days. So hopefully we break that habit tomorrow. They are coming into the Loud House, like my little sub name suggests. So hopefully that helps us out. But I do think we win this game. I do think they make us sweat, though. I think it's another game like last week where it's probably pretty ugly. Probably isn't very pretty for a long time. Hopefully we can pull away at the end, but I think it'll be touch and go. I think it'll be back and forth for a while, and that's always scary with this team.
I really hope that we can. I just want to make a team that is mediocre at the time just look mediocre. Can we do this for once? That's my hope. I just really hope we come ready to tackle tomorrow, because they got way too much speed for us to not be making tackles. But we got some more comments coming in here. I think this is a new commenter, Marion Higginbotham. Appreciate you coming on to the show. Would like to see more teams based out of Indianapolis and just the Midwest in general. How you feel about that, Zach?
Well, here's the problem. Indianapolis is a small market, but the large markets that are around us, like Chicago, or Detroit, they already have teams out of it. Because I call it the circle. So you've got Chicago, Detroit, Tennessee, Kansas City, Indianapolis. And the bottom half of that triangle really is like small market. So the more small markets you put in, the more teams you put in small markets, it's like a dog eat dog. They're eating each other. So like you really have to be selective with the small market. You know, like me, I've been super big into hockey these past 2 years. Like last year, I really got into it, fell in love with the sport, started watching a bunch of it. And then this year, I've watched as much hockey as possible. And I'm always curious, why doesn't Indianapolis have a hockey team? Same reason. You got the Predators in Nashville. You got the Blues in St. Louis. You got the Red Wings in Detroit. You got the Penguins in
Columbus.
Pittsburgh. You got
the Chicago Blackhawks.
Right, the Blackhawks. You got the Columbus Jackets in Ohio. Everybody is – so it's like if you add another sports team in the Midwest, they're taking away from somebody. And at that point, it's then why? I mean, I will say if you're talking about like football, Indianapolis is getting – a small suburb of Indianapolis is getting a indoor football team starting in 2025, the Fisher's Freight.
Nice. So I was just about to say, so basically it's going to be up to the Colts just to win another Super Bowl and get more fans to Indy.
Basically. I mean, it's literally do I ever see like another team coming to Indianapolis and saying, hey, this is what we want, you know? No, because like Indianapolis doesn't really offer a whole lot of eyeballs. But I do think what Indianapolis does better than any other small sports town that I've been to and experienced is, the hospitality, the passion that they have. Like I always tell people, the passion for our sports, I guarantee you, is unmatched and is I'm not going to say as good as Philadelphia because I truly feel like Philadelphia sports fans are like,
well, they're just
best.
Mean, bro. They're just
bro,
loud.
like,
that's how I feel about Philly fans.
That's what I want,
Philly,
though. Like, that's what I want. But I feel like on that same level, like if you're a Pacers fan, you're on that same level.
Hey, they know about Pacers
fan. Yeah, you're on that same level. Like professionally, those are the two big things here, and those matter in a city like here. It's like when they're good, this city, the economy, everything's popping. When they're bad, we're going to let you know about it. So, I mean.
I want to echo that too, because I think even though it is a small market, I think Indianapolis does a really good job of kind of like setting the example for other small markets of like, this is how you do it. Like they only have, as far as the major leagues are concerned, I know they have a minor league soccer team, minor league baseball team and everything. And by the way, everyone that's played on the Pittsburgh
the Pirates,
they always say they love playing for the Indians. Like
they love Indianapolis. They say it's a beautiful baseball city. The fans come out. I mean, the past couple of years, the Indianapolis Indians have had the #1 rated AAA ballpark in America. Like,
Indianapolis, like with those teams, but especially with the Colts and the Pacers, and especially when they're winning and doing well, obviously, they do a really good job of showing like how a small market should be and how they support their team. So credit to all y'all that are viewing that are up in the area, man. It's just really cool to see all the time. I am curious if Mary and Mint, if they would like to see us cover more teams based out of Indianapolis, or if you're asking if they would move more teams. I'm not sure. But if you're asking about what we cover, is pretty much strictly Colts, and then we kind of have our little rants about other stuff. But we do talk other sports as well.
You know, Dave. He got sold to the Oilers for like $700 contract right there. I mean, Indianapolis Racers of the, I think, WHL or the HAL. I'm not quite sure.
Indianapolis needs a hockey team, bro. I know what you're saying earlier, and it makes perfect sense.
I would love one.
Come on, man. It's a Midwestern. It's huge in the Midwest. We've got
We've got the Indianapolis Diesel and then the Fort Wayne Comets.
Yeah, and if they ever expand, that should be a target city. I think
they're ECHL and whatever.
Hey, this dude Vandergriff from Georgia stink.
Oh, for Kentucky quarterback?
That dude stinks, bro. Like he's this Gators defense trash, and this dude is making our DBs look like they are just so good, bro. Like
Mark Stoops gonna get fired.
he's missing so many. He's a good coach though, but this team's
He's gonna get fired.
Not if he doesn't win. Not if
Bro,
he doesn't
but,
win. You know, we're in the same boat with Steichen.
My bad. I jumped off a little bit. Jumped off a little
win?
bit there. But I will say what it sounds like I learned from this conversation here from Marion is that Indianapolis Colts fans need to stop being so nice. That's what I learned from this.
I mean,
And Pacers fans, because
Pacers
the fact
fans
when people,
aren't nice.
when people say Philly fans have like some of the best fans in the world, or
bro,
whatever,
I love their passion. I love their passion.
It's that their passion, but all they are is just this bound up group.
They're just
that
assholes.
are just pissed off that the Philadelphia 76ers and then the Eagles finally just now won a title, but they haven't won no championship after all those years. Their best thing was a fighter that nobody was giving a damn about for years after. So it sounds like it feels like there's a little midget in the tall room. You know what I'm talking about? Like that. That's just what it sounds like. Philly fans are. So
I want to go back for a moment because you said like Pacers fans are not nice, bro. They are mean at the free throw line.
I don't know.
When it comes to basketball,
back when Brandon Ingram and they were on the team, that
like,
whole
he says
LeBron's gonna trade you.
He says he refuses. Brandon Ingram says he refuses to come play in Indiana because they chanted, LeBron's gonna trade you.
They're
like
mean,
he sits every time New Orleans comes to Indiana to watch the Pelicans, which is one time a year, maybe 2 times a year.
I mean, but they're not saying anything that's wrong though.
No, but they're hilarious, bro. The chants at Pacers games are incredible. I had to throw that out there because they are not nice over there. They're nice at the Colts games for same people. Nice at the Colts games. I guess Pacers games. They bring. I think
it's just a little bit different with basketball because you're right there on the you're right there on the court, and you're so closer to players. In a football game, it's like all you're hearing is rah, rah.
Don't let them lie to you. Basketball is still king here. The Pacers are still like they might be the ugly redheaded stepchild, but deep down inside, everyone loves the Pacers.
I don't know. I think that's just because the Colts aren't good. I just think that's because the Colts aren't good. Because
I think it does depend on who's winning or not. But Indiana basketball is
because if you think back to about around 2013 when the Pacers had that run with Paul George, and then the Colts had Andrew Luck at that time. I felt it was still all about Andrew Luck at that time.
I lived up there at that time, bro. I feel like the Pacers were the bigger.
It was hot.
Really?
The Pacers are gigantic, bro. There are people in this town who cheer for the Bears, but then as soon as the Pacers get good, they're all like, "Hey, you going to the Pacers game? I got Pacers season tickets, bro." Yeah. Like
it's a very like in the city thing. Like it doesn't get a ton of national attention. We all know that, but like in the city, bro, like when you're or even across the state when you're living there. It is different when basketball is good there, but it's interesting. But obviously,
basketball is good here.
It's king. Football's on the way up, bro.
It's king, bro.
Like, we got turned around though because I need a Colts Super Bowl. I love the Pacers, but I need a Colts Super Bowl.
Maybe I was wrong. Let's get back to some Colts football. Dave's saying here we need to tackle Miami's defense is awful. We should be able to pressure their QB. That's what I'm also worried about is not being able to contain rush lanes on Tyler Huntley.
That scares me the most.
Here, on Pierce will eat tomorrow. Dave also said no one ever heard of Scott Zolak until he played us. So I share a lot of those sentiments. I think that I just think that there's some matchups that give us trouble if we don't necessarily come ready to play, come ready to tackle, and be ready to match up with the speed. Man. It's just one of those games where it's like we should be able to do these things, but like, are the Colts going to do it to us again?
Yeah,
are they?
Bro, and say what you will about the QB, Snoop Huntley, whatever. He's still an NFL quarterback, and the fact remains we got Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle lining up against RDBs, which we have witnessed for a long time now. It is still a problem, bro. Like,
what scares me is we're going to let Snoop get out on the edge, and one of them dudes is going to beat a crosser over the middle, and it's going to be, barbecue chicken. Yep. And then he takes it to the paint. And it's going to be that all day. So that's part of me why I'm not overly optimistic about this game.
Yeah. I mean, I would love to be optimistic, but I just feel like I can watch our offense knowing that our defense is going to come back out there and going to do some stupid stuff like my Gators just did after we score a touchdown and we get up a 99-yard kick return.
Nice.
It's just stuff like that I know will happen. So it's like you want to be optimistic. You want to think that this game should be like Nathan said, like 28-13 or something. You want to think that this game should be absolutely dominated.
Should be.
But will it be? And, with that being said, I still believe we win this game.
I agree. I have a win. I just have another ugly win.
I hope for a win, but personally, I think that somehow, some way, the Colts will find a way to fumble the bag. Like it's been, we win a couple, we lose a couple. We'll win
that has
one,
been the
we'll
trend
lose
this year.
one. So I'm sticking. I hope I'm wrong, but I'm just sticking with the trend. So
Actually, speaking of that, so after this game, we kind of run into a little gauntlet of tougher teams here. We got Houston after this. We got Minnesota, Buffalo, New York, and Detroit. So then after that, we face the Giants and kind of get back on a little downslide of teams. This is kind of a must-win before we get to that gauntlet there.
Agreed. Yeah.
Of teams. Because we always know we'll end up winning a game that we probably have no business being in anyway. Yeah, you got to win this one. So, Zach, you were the only one that picked us to lose. Damon hasn't been on for some of these picks here, guys, so I don't know if he changed his pick, but he did have us winning against Miami. That was with or without Tua. I also picked us to win that game. Why the hell did I pick us to win that game?
Okay, that was good.
No, because that was with Tua. Like I'm guessing it's just based on this defense that I'm seeing right now because I did expect us to be better, bringing everybody back. So yeah, Zach, you did pick us to lose before the season started. Where are you at with that pick now? I know you said we could fumble the bag, but where do you have it as it stands right now?
If Tua was healthy, Colts would definitely lose. But with Tua not playing and Miami struggling basically on both sides of the ball and the Colts' inconsistency, I really think Colts win, but it'll be ugly. It'll be like 17-9, 12-9. It could be literally a 5-field-goal game like it was in Baltimore week 2 last year, and you get the dub that way. Like, that's really what I feel like it could be. Just an ugly win, but a win nonetheless for Indianapolis.
Oh, yeah, and I did want to throw that out there that Nathan said that Pierce was going to go off. He's actually dealing with a shoulder.
Oh, my God. It doesn't end.
So I believe he was questionable. I think he was a full practice the day before yesterday, and then today limited, I think.
DJ,
yeah, man. So
good.
Yeah, kids, he's gonna be a baller. I think
he's so good.
I'm just hoping we don't lose him when we fire Billy. If we do,
you won't. Coach Sig will keep him, bro. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I don't know. I just want my teams to not suck anymore. But yeah, I think we do win this game, and I do think we score over 20, just kind of with how bad their defense is, at least right now. But I think that I think we will score over 20 because we've only not scored over 20 one time this season. Or no, twice. We beat the Bears 19-13, I believe it was. And so I think we win like 22-13, something like that. And that's where I'm at with it.
Yeah, I got us winning this game as well. I kind of echo y'all sentiments. It'll be ugly. But I think it's ugly on the defensive side of the ball. I think they still exploit Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle against our corners. I think that's just a fact of life. But I think we do come out ahead because I don't trust their defense at all. And I don't think they can sustain drives, right? I think they'll hit a couple big plays, like we said, like a deep crosser to Tyreek, something crazy that they're just bound to do because those guys are incredibly talented. But ultimately, I have us pulling this one out. I'd give it about 24-20, something like that. But that's where I'm at with it.
20 is a little too bright for me.
I could see him scoring 20 on us, man. I could see him scoring 20. I don't like it.
I mean, I hope not, but I wouldn't be mad. This year, I do not care. I don't care how they look.
Just
give me another win.
We know we have problems. We just want to win.
Just keep me away from the ledge, and we'll figure it out as we keep going here.
Yeah, man.
Anything else on the game, guys?
Just ready to get a win, dude. Go above 500 this year for the first time, I believe.
Yes,
or we were above 500.
We were above 500. We were 3-2 at one point.
That's right. My bad.
Gotcha.
We're getting above it.
Over the hump. But yeah, I appreciate everybody who came through tonight, man. Hopefully the Colts go out there and get a dominating dub. If not, just a dub either way. But appreciate everybody who came out. Appreciate you guys, man. Let's go. And as always, go Colts.
Go Colts.
Second down, he fakes the Taylor, fires over the middle, completes.